Guess who's coming to dinner? Hello, Louisville. Welcome to Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. I'm so excited. I've had some conversations today that would rock your socks. I'm here to tell you. I've talked about I'm a descendant of Eliza Tivis, who was a slave. And the slave master willed her Newburgh. Check this out. Willed her Newburgh. That's a whole story. So there is an Eliza Tivis society. And I have people that for years been saying, oh, we're related, we're related. And today I told them, I said, well, your grandmother and my great-great-grandmother were sisters. Just make goosebumps on my arms. But aside from that, we're going to do a little Black history up in here today on Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Yes, historic folks from Louisville that make our city what it is today. And we have to carry these legacies. We have to tell these stories about who these people were, because as the kids would say, they were all that and a bag of chips. And we are proud. And my own personal historian I have with me today is no one other than my girlfriend, Miss Carrye Jones. Hello, my sister.
Hello there. I'm so happy to be here today.
I am so thrilled to have you here.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Well, you know, Carrye, you were so full of information. I said, don't tell me no more. Just stop talking. We have to share this information that we have.
We do.
So where I want to start today, I want to start by telling you, I was just watching the news before we came on, and they were doing a Black history piece about the 10th Street Library, the oldest library in the nation, in the United States of America, is our library, our Black library on 10th and Chestnut.
And I would like to say that my mother started her career as a librarian at the Western Branch Library.
Whoa.
Yeah. Wow. Margaret Louise Hampton, who became Margaret Louise Hampton Bowers.
All right.
Yes.
You know, this is just wonderful, because when we were talking about that earlier, I said I'd like to see. They said they were going to bring back some of the old programs that used to be at the library. I said I'd love for them to bring back the movies on Saturdays for the kids. You know, that was something. You got up early and you got dressed and you went down and walked down those side steps down underneath the building from the outside. We didn't have an inside entrance. We came in from the outside. Things like that. They're unforgettable. But one reason that Miss Carrye is here today is we're going to talk about the Central High School Distinguished Honors program that's coming up. Tell us about the program, Carrye.
Well, Central High School for a number of years has been having a program to induct people into the Central High School Distinguished Alumni Hall of Fame.
Okay.
And we do it every other year. And it is going to take place on this coming Sunday, February 20th, at historic Central High School at 12th and Chestnut Street at 7:00 p.m. in our auditorium.
Okay.
We do this so that our young people coming through Central High School today can see the many distinguished shoulders upon which they stand.
Yes.
And we have honored people in many fields of endeavor. For many years, Central has always been known for its athletic prowess.
Right, right.
But John Whiting, the late John Whiting, decided, we need to recognize people in many fields.
Right.
not necessarily always academics, but in many fields of endeavor, to make it clear that Central High School is all about excellence.
Okay. Okay.
We are situated in the middle of the Russell community.
Okay. Yes.
And at this event, Harvey C. Russell Jr., who is the son of Harvey C. Russell Sr., for whom our community is named, and for whom Russell Junior High School is named, will be the recipient of the award, one of the recipients posthumously. Harvey C. Russell Jr. was the first Black to hold a vice presidency in a major Fortune 500 corporation.
Girl, please. All right.
He was a Pepsi-Cola vice president when I was a child.
Okay.
He would be a peer of my parents. He's born in 1918. Okay?
Okay.
So all these great things were going on even then. And so we want our young people to know there's nothing new under the sun. Our people have been achievers for generations.
Right.
And they need to understand that. In other words, students coming along today need to understand that they have been paid for. They have no excuse.
Yes.
These people achieved, succeeded against all odds.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and went to school. Look, you were telling me about part of his resume that he went to Kentucky State.
That's right.
Normal school, right?
No, that was his father. Harvey C.
Okay,
Russell
that's the senior. Okay.
Who is?
So let's go back and talk about senior before we get to the junior.
All right, Harvey C. Russell Sr., for whom the community is named, was a student at Kentucky State Normal School. For your information, if you're not aware, normal schools educated teachers.
Okay. Okay.
And many people graduated from normal schools, but they were colleges, but they were teacher colleges.
Okay.
Normal schools. He went to Simmons University and the University of Cincinnati. He was a dean of Kentucky State College and the president of West Kentucky Industrial College, which is now West Kentucky Community and Technical College in Paducah, Kentucky.
All right. All right.
He organized the first state Parent Teachers Association and the first state inter-high school athletic association. He lived in the heart of our community. First, he lived at 1029 West Madison Street, where his son, of course, lived at part of that time, his son who will be honored at Central High School. And then finally at 2345 West Chestnut Street, on the northwest corner of 24th and Chestnut.
Okay.
And the lovely home still stands. There is a family living in that home today. And it has been enhanced with a beautiful deck on the back. And it's just, you can just look at the architecture and tell what a beautiful home that it is.
Those homes on Chestnut Street were all that.
Yes. And so you can ride by, and I want you to know that you can see the home of Harvey C. Russell Sr.
Okay.
Make no mistake, Harvey C. Russell Sr. was a Black man.
Okay.
I did a trolley tour of the Russell area, Muhammad Ali, which used to be Walnut Street, and Chestnut Street in October. And there were some people on the tour who did not know that Harvey C. Russell was a Black man. Make no mistake.
What you say? Make no mistake.
He was. And he was like many people in that time, in that area when I was growing up, such a rich area. these are people that we saw, that we touched every day.
Right.
I wish it were like that today.
Yeah.
I
You
hope.
know, I told you, I said that my family actually moved at 2210 West Chestnut.
Yes, yes.
And I said, I said my mother knew where she knew where she wanted to be. She knew who she wanted to be around.
Yes.
And she knew what she wanted to expose us to.
Absolutely.
And at that time, I think you were in the same class as my brother, right?
Yes. Earl.
You came out in 64 at Central?
Class of 1964 at Central High School.
So, but the last class for Madison Junior High School was what? Was you all's class?
Well, let me just say this. We graduated from Russell Junior High.
Oh, you did?
I was the student who accepted the school, the new name for the student body. It was the first public speech that I ever made at the dedication service.
Wow, Carrye.
And William H. Perry Jr. was the principal at the time.
Okay.
And I would go into his office every day for a week, and we would tweak my speech because it had to be perfect.
Wow.
That is the way things were done in those days. They're not quite done like that today.
Oh,
we
do things a little differently.
I see young people get awards who are not well spoken when they accept them. In those days, if there was a chance, for instance, that you were going to win the Heisman Trophy, then you would be prepared to accept that with an acceptance speech that was perfect, because the educators in your sphere cared about you and would prepare you for that. Whether you were given the award or not, you would be prepared to accept it with perfect grammar. Right. That's the way we were raised. And that's the kind of support we had in those schools. So when I stood there to accept the school for the student body, it was a phenomenal moment.
And you'll never forget it, huh?
Never forget it. And then I heard myself the next day. They had taped it over the loudspeaker. So these are the wonderful experiences that we had as young people that prepared us to go out into the world.
Right.
And feel confident in who we were.
Right.
I went to a predominantly white college. Excuse me.
Somebody's trying to reach you. I don't know if that's
I'm on a Zoom meeting.
I guess. But it's very interesting. We look at a lot of our schools that are named after prominent Louisvillians.
Okay. Love you.
Like Perry Elementary, like Mazik, like Lyman T. Johnson, back then it was Russell Junior High School.
Let me talk about
all these prominent educators in our city, in our midst,
in our community
during Black History Month. We just want to kind of revive their contribution that they gave to this community that we call Louisville.
Shall I talk?
Just
about some of them?
Huh? Some of them you got a list, don't you?
I have a list.
Okay, let's go.
All right. I am going to talk about Lyman T. Johnson. I took my tour from 18th and Muhammad Ali down to 30th and turned left and came up Chestnut. What I will say is that white people lived on the same street as we did, but they lived on the west end. Do you hear this?
Okay.
Do you hear this, people? White people lived on the west end of Chestnut Street. Below 30th, it was called River Park Drive.
Right.
And that's where the white people lived. The Black people lived on Chestnut Street. Now, Janice, as we got a little older, you see, I was born
I guess she did want to tell us when she was born. She's buffering. She'll be back. So hello, Louisville. Guess to dinner. I guess she did want to tell us when she was born. She's buffering. She'll be back. So what we're getting ready to find out is that there is what Carrye was talking about. There is a trolley tour, and she's going to let us know that they're going to bring that back. And it's a lot of people that live here that don't know about where some of our educators lived and what part of the city they lived in. And even some of the contributions that they make. You have to make a contribution to a community in order for your name to be on a school or your name to be given to an area. There has to be something that you do that's vibrant for the show you. I'm going to share my screen with you and show you. So let me move this back.
We have always been a company that thinks big and bold. We look beyond the status quo to see what's possible.
You see that today, and you see it in our history. Go back to the late 1940s. PepsiCo broke new ground by hiring an African-American sales team. They traveled throughout the North and South, boosting Pepsi sales as they went, promoting Pepsi-Cola to the Black community.
To be able to travel around the country, to meet other people, it was a wonderful experience.
They did so much more than sell Pepsi. At a time of deep racial inequality and injustice, they represented the idea that progress in civil rights was possible. Among the first members of this team were 10 college graduates, including Harvey Russell.
In 1962, as the struggle for civil rights continued in the U.S., Harvey C. Russell made history by becoming the first African-American vice president of any major U.S. corporation. And that corporation was PepsiCo.
So they asked me to check with some of the Southern bottlers to see what their reaction would be. Well, fortunately, one of my closest classmates at the Coast Guard Academy was a fellow named Harry England, who had the Pepsi-Cola bottling company in New Orleans. So he was the one I said they should check with.
Harvey's legacy is a key milestone of PepsiCo's amazing journey. It teaches us that instead of limits, there are endless opportunities.
Harvey C. Russell's legacy means opportunity and representation. I walked through the trail he blazed in 1962, and so do many others.
I'm proud of being a part of a company standing tall against discrimination from the very first day.
His passion for embracing diversity
and doing business in ways that benefit everyone is reflected in performance of purpose, our governing philosophy that guides every aspect of our business.
Increasing diversity is one of our performance with purpose goals. It is so important to work closely with a diverse group of talent, a diverse group of leaders. Why? Because our business decisions definitely are improved.
To make the most of our diversity, we are also focused on associate engagement, being a company where everyone is a leader, where everyone has the opportunity and responsibility to bring their experience to bear, helping move our business ahead.
We need to propel and promote different types of thinking to become richer, to go beyond.
And finally, our diverse talents are continuing to help us attract the best because they know that this is a company where they will thrive and grow.
From the grassroots efforts of our employee-led ERGs to company-wide initiatives to develop the talent of our associates, to the work of the PepsiCo Foundation, diversity and engagement make a powerful combination that will enable us to shape a successful future for generations to come.
You know, the next big idea that will transform the food and beverage industry has yet to happen. By making the most of our collective intelligence, building on our legacy, and having the courage to be bold, we can make sure it happens at PepsiCo.
Talking about all these different people. Dr. Mazik, Lyman T. Johnson, all the educators. These were people that, things that are happening. And we're looking at Sunday's affair. Central High School alumni distinguished honors. And the people that are going to be honored are Judge Tanisha Hickerson, and there's another young lady. She's also a judge. And posthumously, it'll be Nat Brown. Nat Brown, you know, picture taking Nat Brown. Everybody had their picture taken by Mr. Nat Brown, Mr. Harvey C. Russell Jr. And also, I'm trying to get all this to work out. Is that working better for you?
On a TV show.
If you've got your telephone on, you got to turn your telephone. For some of our noted physicians, our noted educators, politicians. May Street Kid lived on Chestnut Street. Betty Baye used to live on Chestnut. For the Distinguished Honors Awards, and especially if you're an alumni of Central High. I said, it's really funny to me. I thought about, Carrie sent me the program, and on the program, it has the Central High School song. I learned this song when I was 4 years old because of the program. And on the program, it has the Central High School song. I learned this song when I was 4 years old because I used to sit with the cheerleaders because my mother took me to Central High School basketball games. And just as a tribute to the honors that will be happening this weekend. Central, oh Central High, Central, our seal we die, we raise our banners high in sky. For Central High, yeah. Hey.
Wait a minute. No, wait.
Right. That was Miss Carrye Jones. And I'll find out when they're going to do the trolley. Right. That was Miss Carrye Jones. And I'll find out when they're going to do the trolley tour again, because I know some people that live here in the city would probably like to go see some things that they didn't know where they were or who lived there, you know. And then they might just want to know some more history about the Black educators and politicians and physicians that come from this city that have went on to do wonderful works. Harvey C. Russell Jr., that's being honored posthumously, went to Kentucky State University. No, I screamed. I was very excited about that. I guess he would go to that school because his dad went to that school when it was the honors school before it became a college. So he graduated from Kentucky State. So he's a thoroughbred. How about them apples? So to close out the day, it's a very sad commentary that someone walked up into the office of the mayoral candidate, Mr. Greenberg, and shot at him today. I don't know what's on people's minds. Shot at him. They shot at him, and I know it's dinner time. My husband asked me, do I want a salad? Yes, I want a salad, baby. But everyone else, I hope you're finding something to do for Black History Month. The other two events that I know are coming up are Miss Marjorie Marshall's Songbird of the South, Kentucky Center for African American Heritage, and Ken Clay's Legacies Unlimited Walnut Street Review on the 26th. Marjorie is the Friday, Ken is the Saturday, both at the same place, Kentucky Center for African American Heritage. Two events that you should not miss if you want to get out and enjoy some live entertainment. Marjorie Marshall's Songbird of the South is her portrayal of Mary Ann Fisher, who was from Louisville, who used to sing backup for Ray Charles. So Marjorie has been doing that piece for a while, and she's made it her own. It's absolutely her own. She does a fabulous job. So Carrye Jones, I love you. Thank you. Goodbye, everybody else. Bon appetit. Guess who's coming to dinner?